Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Trey. Trey's from Dallas in Texas in USA. So let's see what Trey has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, William?
Hello Trey, I'm very well, how are you?
I'm doing fine, how about yourself?
Very good, thank you. Am your name right? Is Trey?
Trey, yeah, Trey Mehos, yeah.
I need to show you something, Trey. I'm in London right now. It's snowing,
okay.
not heavily, but a little bit. And my flatmate just brought for me now a hot chocolate with marshmallow. Look.
Oh, I love it. I'm jealous. I actually bought some hot chocolate for Christmas because I had a very, very small group of people and nobody drank it. So I have like this big thing of hot chocolate, marshmallows, and the whole thing. And I'm like, I want to go to town.
I just love hot chocolate. I just love it. It's my favorite drink. And when it's very cold right now, like today, it's very cozy and nice. So they just brought me now. I said, oh my God, thank you so much. Just made my day now.
Yeah. Do you use like just like the generic, like the powder, or do you like go to town and get like fine chocolate and like put it in milk and stuff?
Yes, I think the best hot chocolate I ever had in my life was in Belgium, in Bruges. I went there a few years ago with a friend, and I remember we was walking the street, and we went to this coffee shop in the center of the city. And I just had, can I have a hot chocolate? I'll tell you something. It was like melted chocolate. Like, oh my God.
Oh God. I got to go to Paris. A couple of years ago, and got to have some Belgian chocolate, I guess, that they had brought in, and it was like nothing I ever had. And then my sister, she lives in Wales, and so my other sister, Victoria, was in Switzerland, and I think she sent some chocolate to her and me, and I was so good. So.
Yeah, Switzerland is the best chocolate you can imagine. You can have it as well. I remember once, a few years ago, I went to visit a friend of mine who is Swiss and he lives in Geneva. And I was at the airport. I said, oh my God, I need to buy something for him. And I just put this chocolate in the airport. When I got there, he was like, William, you are so brave to bring chocolate for a Swiss person. Because here we have the best chocolate in the world. I was like, oh my God.
Really anywhere in Europe, it's going to be better than the States. We're not known for good chocolate. So it's more of a European thing, maybe South American too.
Yes. Okay, Trey, so just before we start the game, so just tell me where are you from?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a rep for a mattress company. So I go around and teach about mattresses.
Oh, amazing. And what, in your opinion, what's the most interesting thing about your job?
I love my job, probably the travel and meeting people. So with COVID, no, we're working from home now, but before, I was usually on an airplane 2 to 3 weeks out of the month, flying to not the most exotic places, sometimes it was like West Texas or something, but just getting to meet a lot of really amazing people. And I love to train, I love to teach. So just getting to be a teacher and getting to travel, probably my favorite thing.
Very good. Okay, Trey, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got this lovely box here full of random fun questions, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a music just for us to get in the mood before the first question. Are you ready?
Okay. Sounds good.
Let's do it. Ready for the first question?
Yes.
Let's do it. The first question is, what makes you most proud?
Probably, honestly, my relationship with my family. So I have 4 older sisters and then nieces that are pretty much my age and nephews. And I'm proud of the fact that I have such an amazing family that I still keep in contact with for the most part. And I'm proud of my friends. So I'm proud of the people in my life and I'm proud of those relationships.
Very good. Are you the youngest one?
I am, yeah.
The spoiled.
A little bit.
All right, so let's get the second question. Let's do it, Trey. Right, just before the next question, so you said you come from Dallas in Texas.
Yes.
Dallas. Tell me something that you only can find in Dallas. You cannot find anywhere else in the world. Something local, special.
It's local specifically to Dallas. maybe not specifically Dallas, but Texas has amazing Tex-Mex. So I love Mexican food, but Texas is known for having phenomenal Tex-Mex. Dallas. It's one of the more glamorous Texas cities. So, big hair, big cars, with a little bit of a Texas feel, but I think that's more on the Fort Worth side, which is next door. So,
okay, good. Next question is, Trey, if you won the lottery, what would be your first big splurge?
Splurge. Like first gift, probably my first gift to myself. Maybe a trip somewhere, maybe a trip to Canada or New Zealand, something like that.
Right. Have you been to Canada before?
I've been to Canada. I have not been to New Zealand. No.
I'm the same as well. I've been to Canada. My best friend lived in Montreal, in the French side,
Yeah.
but not New Zealand either.
I've been to Vancouver. I've never been to Montreal, but I've heard it's amazing.
The other side, Vancouver, the other
Yeah.
side. Oh my God, very far away.
East part, yeah. But yeah, I loved it up there. So that'd probably be my gift to myself.
Very good. Another question. Let's do it. Right, let's get another question for you, Trey.
Okay.
Next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
What can make me cry? A good movie can make me cry. I think the last time I saw was Saving Mr. Banks, and that movie came out, I don't remember, like 7 or 8 years ago, and that movie made me cry. Happy animals and little children, yeah, and animals.
Oh, do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dachshund and a cat, so they're both around here somewhere.
Very good, very good. Let's get another question for you. Let's do it. Right, so you're saying that you have a sister who lives in Wales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have family around here? Just for just move for job?
Yeah, no, all my family is spread out. So my parents live up about 75 miles north of here in kind of a more rural town. And then I have a sister in Wales, and I have a sister in Florida and Colorado. And then I have a sister here, and my nieces and nephews spread out, all over the place. So.
Oh, great. Right, next question is, what is your favorite weekend activity?
Favorite weekend activity? Well, when I lived in Colorado, it was definitely hiking. I loved it. Every weekend, most weekends, we would get up and go hiking, and that was one of my favorite things to do. Here, just probably just relaxing, maybe going to the lake. So going to the lake probably here.
Very good. Are you enjoying the show so far, Trey?
Love it.
Yeah, good. Let's get another question for you. Let's do it. Like your moves. I like your moves. Right, next question is,
Makes sense.
what is your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
The Fresh Prince, probably. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
Like I could watch that at any time, just late at night when I don't want to think.
I remember watching it when I was a teenager as well, but back in Brazil, my God. It's fun when you watch it, you feel like fresh, isn't it? You feel like new still. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah. You would think the humor would eventually fade. You look back and think, oh, that's not funny at all, and it's the complete opposite. It's hilarious. So.
That's right. Right, Trey, let's get another question for you. Trey, before the next question, tell me what's the best part of living in Dallas and the worst part of living over there?
The best part is definitely the food. There are so many good restaurants here. Dallas is known for having a lot of good restaurants. So, if you're in the mood for, Lebanese or, Japanese or whatever you're in the mood for, you're going to find good restaurants. The worst would definitely be the weather. The weather here sucks, really sucks. So it's in the summer. See, y'all do Celsius. I can't think of it Celsius, but it gets past 105, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, in the summertime, which is pretty hot.
And when it's winter, it's quite cold, very cold as well, or not?
It can get cold. It doesn't get super, super cold, but it can get. We had a couple of severe ice storms, decades ago, but I mean, it doesn't ever get really bad here.
I think Dallas, Texas, I think it's the same weather where I come from as well. Where I come from, Brazil, it's really hot. My God, you can get like lost. Like I grew up like having this 40 degrees every single day, and it was like crazy. When like Brazil in the south, I'm the northwest, but south of Brazil in winter time, like June, July, can get very cold, very, very cold. But where I come from, like the coldest, it's for example in London, like when it's warm in London, that's the coldest summer I can get where I come from, so it's not very good.
Yeah. Well, you get quite a bit of rain too, so.
Yeah. Right, next question is, what is your funniest memory of your time at school?
I had a group of friends in high school, and I don't know, I mean, we picked on the teachers so badly. That's all I can say. We picked on the teachers so badly, we did a lot of like.
You're a very naughty student.
Oh, extremely, yeah. I was always in trouble for talking. I don't have one specific. I'm trying to think of like one specific.
Like a
crazy. I did go streaking in high school one time, so that was fun.
My God, that's adventurous.
It was late at night. It was around the school. I did it with some friends, so that was my big memory.
All right, let's get another question for you. Right, next question for you, Trey. Next question is, if you could have a superpower, what that would be and why?
Power to time travel, because I could go anywhere in history and change the future.
And if you could go back in one moment in history, what that would be to change something?
I have a place I'd love to visit. I would love to go to the 50s. I think that would be really cool. I think it would be really neat to see how people lived back then.
Sure.
Get to see how your grandparents lived, and yeah.
Very good. Sometimes I talk to my friends. I grew up in the 80s, and sometimes I tell my friend, I'd love to have the age I have right now in the 80s, just to feel that vibe, you know what I mean? Like no technology.
Just to see what it would be like, just
yeah,
the interactions that people would have, what you'd be into, what were people doing, it would just be kind of interesting to
absolutely
do that, I think, so.
If I could just have like a weekend, just like back to the weekend, like sometime in the 80s, just with my age right now, to feel the vibe like at the time, I think it would be great. It would be good. So, right, Trey.
Exactly.
Let's get another question for you. Let's do it. Just before the next question, tell me what is the best part of being the youngest child and the worst part of being the youngest one, if there is any, in your opinion?
The best part is that you can see what your siblings, the mistakes that they made, and they also teach you a lot. They also teach you a lot about life. The worst part of being the youngest is nobody takes you seriously. And that's the truth. Like, nobody wants to listen to what you have to say.
Is a big gap between you and your older sister or not?
Yeah, so between me and my youngest sister, 5 years, but I had a niece that was born a year after me, like to the day, and we were like best friends growing up, so I consider her to be a sister as well, so yeah.
Oh, that's cool, that's great. Next question is, how would you describe a perfect, healthy relationship?
All about communication. It's all about communication, I mean, it's not about the issues that two people have. It's about how do you work through those issues and how do you come to an understanding of where the other person is coming from.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think communication, if there is no communication, it's difficult, isn't it?
We all have problems, right? I don't care who you are. We all have problems, and so no matter what relationship you get into, you're going to be bringing problems. They're going to be bringing problems, but that's not the issue. The issue is how are you going to deal with those issues? How are you going to deal with those problems? How are you going to talk about it?
Absolutely. I think, to be honest with you, Trey, I learned that on my second relationship. When I came to London, I met someone, and it was my second partner, and he was he's a good friend of mine now, and he was very like talking about everything. I remember sometimes Brazilian people, we tend to kind of sometimes hide the problem on the side, not talk about things, kind of, cover up. And I remember when I was here, it was like, okay, William, if there is something, let's talk about. He was pointing things like, oh my God, I learned in Europe, being in London, I learned how to communicate more in relationship, how to express yourself more. And I think I'm something very grateful because I learn a lot and it makes a big difference. Communication is the key of everything, I think, in a relationship, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you don't talk and you get into that and you bury all of those issues, you're going to have resentment, you're going to be passive aggressive, and then eventually the whole thing's going to, implode. So
absolutely. And if you pass the moment, you cannot go back again to explain because it's already too late, to go back and try to fix it out. So I think when the moment happens, just need to talk and discuss. That's the best part of a relationship.
Exactly. Yep.
Other question. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, I'm going to ask you a question for you. Tell me, what are you most proud of being American?
Just the fact that you can live the American dream if you really want it. I mean, there will be factors that hinder you, and not saying we're the best country in the world. I don't think we are. I think every country has its pros and cons, but I think what makes America stand out is the inherent rights that we have to become who we want and, come out of whatever situation we're in. We're not born into a specific class or born into a faction that says this is as good as it's going to get. We really have the right to pursue the, American dream.
Very good. Good answer. Next question is, when was the last time you cried and why?
This was back in July. My mom had some bad news about her health, and we didn't know what was going on. So I remember going to work and going up to the hospital for certain reasons. And then when I got back home, I think there was a time I cried by myself. So, yeah.
I've done that so many times as well, like cry on my own. When you're facing problems, you don't want to be emotional there, but when you get yourself in a safer place on your own, that's where things just flow up and you just...
Right, that's when you kind of let it all.
Good. Another question?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. Right, Trey, next question for you. What is your funniest memory of a date that you had?
So I have one memory that really sticks out that I love. In Colorado, there's a town called Colorado Springs, and next to Colorado Springs is a smaller town called Manitou Springs. So it has these natural springs that you can drink out of, and they've got different stores and shops and an arcade, and it's just a really, really beautiful area. In fact, one of my sisters got married there years ago, and I remember my partner and I, we went there and we spent the whole day there from morning to night, and it's just a really good memory I have. It's a beautiful place. So
very good. A long time. When that happened? When was that?
When was that? It was 2016. Yeah, it was fall of 2016. That would have been late September 2016. Yep.
Oh, very good. It's still sticking in your head the date and everything, the time. Good.
Yeah, I'm good with dates. The only thing I'm good at, I'm good with dates.
Let's get another one. Those right. Okay, let's get another question for you, Trey. When was the last time that you laughed so hard that made you cry?
Actually, I do have a story. I was in a business meeting a year. I was in a business meeting a year ago, and this was we were in Houston. This was pre-COVID, and one of the guys on our team, he's an older guy, really good guy, and he said something, and it made me laugh. And for like half the meeting, I had to keep burying my head because I couldn't stop during the entire meeting.
It happened to me as well last Friday when I was with a friend of mine at work, and I was picking up the phone. I was on the reception. I was picking up the phone, and she was just by my side, and I just couldn't talk over the phone. And I just said, I do apologize, and I hang up the phone. I couldn't. It took me like so long for me to get myself back together.
And he's one of those guys. He has this amazing wits, and he's straight out of Texas, and everything he says, he's just got little sayings for everything. I don't remember what he said now, but I do remember that I could not quit laughing in this meeting, and I had to excuse myself. I had to get up and go to the bathroom. I just couldn't stop.
Right, Trey. I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it.
Let's go.
Right, do you have any pet peeves?
Pet peeves. I don't like when people talk over each other. And the thing is, I have a terrible habit of doing this myself, but I wish, like, when you ask somebody a question, I like to finish my questions slowly, get everything out, and then a response, and so I hate, like, when you're watching, obviously, we've had quite a bit of discourse the last few years with our politics. There's 2 very opposing sides. Just not letting anybody finish, not letting anybody express their voice, and trying to understand the other side.
Yeah, it's funny saying that because I have sometimes the same habit as well. Because I'm a bit anxious, and sometimes I don't wait for the person to finish, and I'm already like stepping, William, watch yourself. I watch myself sometimes. I'm very easy to let myself go easily sometimes in that. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it.
All right.
Before the next question, Trey, I must tell you something. When I invited you over to for the show, and you were so kind, straight away you accepted. I was like, oh my God, maybe he's not serious. I didn't think you were serious because you were so straightforward. He said, yeah, I'd like to participate. But I was like, oh my God, I felt like in the beginning, the first impression, I thought, oh my God, maybe he's just taking a piece, he's not like taking it seriously. But oh my God, I'm so glad you accepted because you're very easy talking. You're very approachable.
When I went to school for journalism. So I used to do interviews about 10, 11 years ago. So I enjoy it. I love talking to people. I mean, I love one-on-one specifically more than group settings. I love one-on-one communication. So I'm always up for, just talking to somebody.
And I'm very glad you just said that right now because I was being intimidated because you are a journalist, and I just started this program like not long ago. I'll be intimidated.
Oh, no. I'm terrible at it. I just mean that I went to school for it, so I remember having to sit down and ask people questions, but I enjoyed it. So, it's something enjoyable for me. I love to ask questions and, be asked.
Very good. Okay, this is a tough question now. How do you think you'll die, or how would you like to die if you could choose?
Very quickly. I don't care if I'm asleep, but I want it to be fast. I don't want to age and get, dementia and Alzheimer's and my body's breaking down and I don't know where I am. I'd rather it be, fast. I think that's what everybody wants. Just, quick.
Yeah.
When you're in your, you're still cognizant and able to get around.
Absolutely. I think I don't want to get to the point where I need other people to look after me for some reason. No, that's
Right.
I don't want at this point. I just want to be able to look after myself. I think that's a bit
Exactly.
sad.
Yeah.
Ready for the last one, Trey?
Yes, let's go. Last one.
Let's do it. Last one. Let's do it, Trey. Last question. Next question is, okay, what's a negative thing that happened to you that came out as a positive thing in the end?
About 6 years ago, something really bad happened, and I don't want to go into it, but it was really bad in my private life, and it was affecting my work, and it was affecting my relationships with people, and I came out of what had happened, but it changed me forever. I learned, I grew quite a bit. I learned about myself. I learned about others. I learned about gratefulness, and being thankful for what you have in this moment right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we are going through very tough times, sometimes we don't realize how much we're gonna learn and how much we're gonna take out of it in the future, isn't it? And you just see that when you are over it, when you get over it, and you look back, so that now I understand why I went through that, or now you just feel grateful in a way that that thing happened, that just made the person who you are. I think in the end of the day, everything counts. I know it's not easy. Sometimes you go through very tough times, but if you in the future, when you look back, you go like, okay, it made the person who I am right now. I think everything counts. That's what makes life interesting.
No. Exactly. And on that, I somebody once told me, Trey, people don't really change. They don't really change. And I think about what I went through around 2014, and coming out of it, it did change me. I did become a different person. I'm not the same person I was before, and that's a good thing. It was a very good thing.
Absolutely. And when we realize that, that's when you go like, okay, I'm grateful. Yeah, when you think about, yeah. Very good. Okay, Trey, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the quick thinking game. So I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one thing that comes to your mind. Okay, quick thinking, right?
Okay.
Okay, let's start with religion.
Christianity. I grew up. We were very religious growing up. Very religious.
Right. One word for politics.
Destruction.
Okay. Love.
Necessary.
Money.
Overemphasized.
Good one. Family.
The most important.
Life.
Fate.
How about sex?
Overemphasized.
How about fear?
Required.
Good one. Friendship?
Everything.
Desire?
Discipline.
Regrets?
So what?
Good one. Success?
What you make it.
Okay. Wish?
For peace.
Good. If I tell you Dallas, one word.
Pretentious.
And if I tell you Texas?
Guns. But I promise we don't all have guns. We're not all shooting around all day. That's what comes to mind.
And the last one now, United States of America.
Hope.
Very good, very good. Okay, Trey, let's pretend now I'm going to have a cup of tea with your best friends, and I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me something very beautiful about Trey, and tell him something that he needs to improve on, he needs to work on, what do you think your best friend will tell me?
Incredibly loyal. Will always be there for you, even when you're not performing. Very ADD. That would be the bad thing. No attention span. Not focused on when we're having a conversation. I'm thinking about something else. So it's bad. It's really bad.
What's your star sign? Just by curiosity.
Zodiac sign?
Yeah.
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay, I thought you were Scorpio because I'm Scorpio. In Scorpio, we can be a little bit away of the, you know what I mean, not the word.
Bad. It's really bad. It's hard for me to stay focused for 1 minute.
That's fine. At least you know. At least you know. So it's halfway through of the journey. If you know already, if you accept it, it's halfway of the journey, the improvement. So it's cool. It's cool. Okay, Trey. So now let's play now, Trey and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Trey.
So I had a great question for you, but we almost, in a way, covered it, but it's going to be backwards. So my question was going to be, if you could go anywhere in time for 2 weeks, where would you go and why?
2 weeks. I will have this question. I have the answer for you very, very clearly, very easy. When I was 19 years old, I left Brazil on my own. I didn't know anyone in Europe. I didn't know anyone in Portugal when I moved to Portugal at the time. But because for me, my parents, I couldn't have too much support, like financial for my parents. So like my tickets, my rent, everything I need to, to try to find a way to get money to pay for it. And to be honest to you, Trey, it's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that. I've done already over 200 people worldwide, and no one asked this kind of question. I'm very glad you did. So I remember my last 2 weeks in Brazil. I don't have a memory of it. Do you know why? Because I was so focused in trying to get this money, to try to organize my trip, to try to organize everything. And when I look back, I was like, oh my God, I literally, of course, it was enjoyable because, when you want to achieve something, you just have this power, like this, this gas, like help pushing you. And, but to be honest to you, I don't remember, I don't have like too much memories. And I would like to go back in 2 weeks time, like just at that time, at least just 2 weeks before I left Brazil, just to see myself run away, like going out like try to find ways to get this trip done, to get things connected. Very good question. I think I would go back in that moment just to see myself, because when I look back, I'm very proud actually of what I've done, like this last month in Brazil before I left when I was 19, because I've done so much so fast because I didn't have time for it. I didn't have too much. I need to do it, and but I don't remember. I don't have too much memory of it. I just remember doing it. I don't remember memory. But I would love to go back in time, have a look at myself, and see myself running around and try to find those just to see myself at the time, because it was a very special time for me.
Would you go back in time just to observe yourself, or and try to remember some of those memories, or would you go back in time to try to change?
No, I think just to have the memories.
Just as observe. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't change anything, because as I told you before, I'm so proud at the time when I look myself, I was 19 years. My God, 19 years old. When I just travel around other side of the world on my own. It's like, my God, when I look back, but I just don't. I enjoyed, of course, but I think I was so busy. I don't think about and organize myself that I have the memory, but I don't have like very specific memories of myself organize everything. So I'd love to go back in this 2 weeks time, just for me to live again this moment with this mentality I have right now, just to see in a different way and to see how much we can do if we believe it. If we believe it, I'll tell you something, Trey. I learned through my life, if you have a dream, if you believe it, there's no way, there's nothing that's gonna stop you. There's nothing. But you need to believe. I know it's cliche, but I need to believe it. You need to say, okay, I can do it. And when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, it's a book. It's gonna come out. My book I'll send to you. You're gonna see the details of these 2 weeks of my time in Brazil, because it was something like, wow. When I look back, it's like sometimes I miss that William, 19 years old. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I miss myself at the time. But yeah, that's my answer to you. Very good question. Made me go back.
I love that. I love you're not really trying to change anything. You just want to observe how you got to where you are.
Absolutely.
I love that because many times I think we find that the end goal is not the reward, it's pursuing the goal. Sometimes it's living in the moment, pursue the goal.
Totally. I think that's what makes life interesting. When you enjoy the moments.
Right.
I think about achieving something, not about achieving, it's about enjoying the journey, how you get there. That's the whole thing. But anyway, one day I'll give my book for you, and you're gonna remember this conversation.
I love it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna be like, I knew that guy.
Trey, did you have a good time?
I'm having a blast.
Very good. I'm glad you enjoyed. First of all, thank you very much for accepting my invitation. Thanks so much for being so kind and sweet and so fast and okay, let's do it. Bye-bye. I loved it. Very good.
Absolutely. Anytime. I enjoyed it.
Very good. And just before you go, if you don't mind to share a positive quote, a positive message, something that inspires you in life.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing, but when you were talking about that, I think this would be a good one is John Lennon said this, and it is it's something like, I can't remember exactly, but life is what happens when you make plans, and I think that really resonates, that many times we're so focused on the future, we're so focused on retirement, we're so focused on, gaining that promotion or achieving something or purchasing something that we've completely missed where we are and living in the moment. And so that quote stuck out when you were talking about that all of a sudden came. And I remember, I think, John Lennon said that. So
very good, very good. Let's live the moment, isn't it? I think the moment is a gift, isn't it? The moment right now, it's a gift. So let's take advantage of these gifts and let's enjoy it. That's what I believe as well. I think nowadays we are so focused in the future. The world is going so fast right now that we are so focused in the future, achieving this and that, and we forget sometimes about the moment, and it's so precious right now, and the moment just one, so
especially with what we've been dealing with, especially with COVID. I think you're just talking to your friends and family, and everybody is just so obsessed for this to be over, and granted, we want it to be over. We don't want anybody to die or lose their jobs, but in this situation, I have tried to find the good in it, and the peace and the quiet and the time to really reflect on my own life and the people that I love. Yeah.
I think besides the negativity of COVID brought us, I think in the same way, in a positive way as well, brought us an opportunity for us to, get ourselves together and say, okay, let's live the moment, let's see what we have right now, let's see what we can do. And we can, I think it's an opportunity that if you look in a positive way, there's always a positive way. I think there is, the message is out there, like, the moment is here, let's enjoy.
Absolutely.
Trey, I could be here with you another 2 hours talking to you. My God, what a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It was very much a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All the best. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.